Naru-chan! A high-pitched voice screeched as Team 7 was found waiting at the bridge for their sensei. The three members turned and saw a young boy with a scarf barreling towards them. Ah, Konohamaru-kun! Naruko smiled brightly at the child. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm late for the academy and thought, what's a bit longer? Konohamaru gave a roguish grin. Konohamaru, you can't be late for the academy! Naruko reprimanded. Both Kane and Sasuke's sweat dropped. Naruko was late. All the time. Iruka never reprimanded her since she was the top of her class and the Hokage's daughter. Hypocrite. Sasuke spat with no real venom. Shut up, bastard! Anyway, get lost, Konohamaru-kun. I'm with my team right now. Aw, fine. Will you play ninja with me later? Konohamaru. Maybe. We'll see. Yes. Thanks, Naru-chan. Konohamaru sang as he ran off. I make no promises, Naruko yelled at his laughing, retreating figure. Naruko smiled fondly as she closed her eyes and shook her head. Who was that? Kane asked curiously. That was Konohamaru-kun. He's the grandson of the third late Hokage. He's a good kid when he's not being an annoying pain in my side, that is. He used to have some arrogance problems, but I straightened him out. Tatebayo. Naruko smirked, pleased with herself. You're the most arrogant person I've ever met, Sasuke drawled. Naruko gasped in horror. Now who's the hypocrite? Sasuke just grunted back. Kane just smiled. Smack! Kane went down hard. Alright, that's enough for today. Wrap it up, Kakashi called, his eye never leaving his book. As Kane nursed his sore jaw, Sasuke held out a hand for him. Kane gratefully accepted his help and stood up. Okay, bring it in, guys, Kakashi called out again. The three looked at him in surprise. Kakashi usually just dismissed them and disappeared, other than the few times Naruko roped him into going out to eat, that is. The three approached him cautiously. Something was up. Tomorrow is mission day, Kakashi said, his eyes still glued to his book. The three said nothing. I think it's time for another C rank. As Naruko began cheering, and Sasuke gave a pleased smirk, Kakashi's eyes smiled at the expectant response. His words drew out of the team. Kane gave a determined look on his face. This time, he'd prove himself. Kane sat in his signature spot at the library with an open book in hand titled A-Rank Water Ninjutsu. Several droplets of water were floating around the air in his head. Kane sighed as he set the book down and leaned back in his seat. The 6 or so water droplets moved and positioned themselves within his field of vision. They began circling each other slowly, as if in an intricate dance with each other, and Kane watched impassively. What good is being able to control water if I can't even use any jutsu? Kane asked out loud. Kane shut his eyes in frustration as he quickly repositioned himself to a proper seating position in front of the table. The water droplets ceased their delicate dance and separated towards the airspace beside both of his shoulders, 3 droplets on each side. Kane glared at the book on the table. How am I supposed to prove myself on this mission? I haven't changed at all. I haven't learned a single thing. Sure, my hand-to-hand combat has improved and I'm in much better shape now than I was when I graduated the academy, but I'm still weak. The only things I've learned are how to climb trees and make water float. And blood too, apparently. Kane, he stood up and grabbed the book, heading towards the restricted section, to return it to its rightful place. Kane paused momentarily as he went to place it back, glancing at the title of the book located in the spot next to where the novel in his hand was supposed to go. A History of Jinchuriki, 6th edition. Kane shook his head to rid himself of the thoughts he knew were coming, as he placed the book in his hands back to where it belonged, blocking the title of the other book from sight. Nothing in here is going to help me. Almost everything in here is still too advanced for me. I guess that's why it's the restricted section. After leaving the restricted section, Kane walked down an aisle towards a specific book he knew the location of. Water-style ninjutsu, the basics. Kane read to himself as he grabbed the familiar book. He had been through the entire thing several times already, but it didn't stop him. He didn't know why he couldn't do what the book said, he just couldn't. As he reread the opening chapters first, few lines or what it felt like for the 100th time, Kane felt misery coiled tightly in his torso. He stopped reading mid-sentence and got back up to put the book away. He was gaining nothing by being here tonight. He might as well head home to try and get a few hours of sleep so he'd have more energy for the mission tomorrow. At least he'd be doing something productive that way. Team 7, your mission will be to go to Tanzaku-gai in the west. Some bandits have been recently sighted in the area and have started causing trouble for the townsfolk. Find and eliminate them. The fourth Hokage spoke with his hands crossed in front of his face. Aye, Hokage-sama. Kakashi replied while standing at attention. As the four of them made their way out of the tower, Kakashi halted. Meet at the southern gate in 2 hours, and he shushined away. This time, Kane prepared with his kunai pouch strapped to his waist. He noticed he was the first to arrive. My second C-rank mission, and this time we know for sure there will be fighting. Our mission is to find and eliminate bandits after all. He was slightly surprised they would be sending a group of genin, Jonin included or not, to take out bandits. A real fight was guaranteed, and he wasn't sure it was wise to make genin a part of that. It made sense though. Genin could receive C-rank missions because C-rank was classified as having a potential for yielding violence, but the chances of running into enemy ninja were supposed to be super low. The mission may have been a direct order to engage in combat, but the enemies were just bandits, not ninja. Dead last, Sasuke greeted as he rolled up, breaking Kane from his thoughts. Sasuke? Kane gave him a nod in return. Going to freeze up this time too, Sasuke asked with a remark. With a smirk, Kane grit his teeth at the reminder, but relaxed as he reminded himself that Sasuke didn't mean anything by it. Not really. He was just messing with him. I didn't plan on it. No, Kane smoked calmly. Sasuke grunted, smirk still in place. Hey guys, Naruto said, dropping down from the roof of a building nearby, startling Kane and causing him to jump. Naruto gave him a sheepish, slightly guilty smile in response as Sasuke just crossed his arms. Idiot. This time we're doing things a little differently, Sasuke said as he glared at Naruto. What you mean, bastard? This time when we fight bandits, no using shadow clones. What? Why not? Naruto asked with a bewildered look. It's not fun when you hog all the action. No shadow clones. You have to share this time. Naruto grinned in response. What's the matter, bastard? Can't keep up? Sasuke glared harder. No shadow clones. Fine. Naruto yielded as she waved him off. Sasuke smirked. Besides, if you don't use shadow clones, then this time Kane can get in on the fun. Naruto stiffened and looked at Kane worriedly as Sasuke pinned his smirk onto the boy. Kane narrowed his eyes. Yeah, you guys have to share this time. As the two of them grinned at him, Kane knew he said the same thing. He said the right thing. The walk to Tanzaku-gai was boring Kane half to death. Naruto was discussing some form of new taijutsu with Sasuke and how she was going to quote, kick his ass with it, while Kakashi, as always, was reading. Kane would admit he was a little worried. He still had no idea what caused him to freeze up last time, and he was afraid it could happen again. He knew he'd never live it down with his teammates if he froze up twice. He wondered if maybe once they approached the bandits, he should just charge. Surely he couldn't freeze up if he was in the middle of action, right? Maybe this wasn't the best plan. Kane's attention snapped forward as he felt something approaching them slowly from the direction they were headed. After a moment of confusion, Kane relaxed as he realized this feeling was similar, calming, soothing, relaxing. As the four eventually reached and passed a large puddle of water on the side of the road, Kane watched it carefully. He started to hang back just slightly, letting the others get just a little ahead of them so he could go unnoticed. without moving a single muscle, or even stopping Without moving a single muscle or even stopping his slow stride, he made a thin tendril of water rise up from the edge of the puddle nearest to him. The tendril quickly moved towards him and gently caressed his cheek. The tendril retreated, falling back into the water without a sound. No splash, no drip, nothing. As if nothing happened at all. "Kane, keep up!" Naruko shouted back at him. "Coming!" he shouted right back, with one last glance at the puddle. Kane picked up the pace to catch up to his team. And as he slowly felt the puddle of water getting further and further away, Kane smiled. Tenzaku Gai was pretty big. Definitely bigger than Otaka Town, that was for sure. He supposed that it made sense. Tenzaku Gai was one of the 3 largest towns in all of the Land of Fire. As the 4 made their way through the town, Kane tensed up as he realized something. Nobody was looking at him. Nobody. Kane's mouth dropped open in surprise. Nobody knew who he was. The glares he was used to receiving weren't coming. He was anonymous. He wondered if the same thing had happened in Otaka Town. He'd been so upset and lost in thought, pondering over why he froze up when the bandits attacked, that he wasn't sure. He'd never noticed one way or the other. A young woman in her 20s accidentally bumped shoulders with Kane. She made a small gasp and turned to Kane. "Oh, excuse me." She gave him a polite smile and went on her way. Kane smiled. He liked being anonymous. Naruko, on the other hand, was not so lucky. She didn't get less looks and remarks. If anything, she got more. The people clearly knew who she was, and since they weren't residents in Konoha, seeing the daughter of the 4th Hokage wasn't a common thing for them. He felt slightly bad for her when he saw the uncomfortable look on her face, and then he felt irrational anger that she would dare feel that way over praise rather than scorn. Whoa, where did that come from? Kane suddenly felt guilty. He shouldn't treat her that way. She deserved better. He would try, and fail miserably, to apologize to her if it weren't for the fact that he had to explain to her why he was apologizing. As the 4 entered the building where they would meet up with the client, Kane decided he would make it up to Naruko somehow, even if she didn't know why he was doing it. After all, it's not like it was Naruko's fault the village hated him. The 4 spotted the light from the campfire under the cover of darkness that night. This was the place, the location of the bandits. He was in position. Each of them was told the plan before morning. They knew the geography of the area. The client had given them a few maps of the surrounding acres. Now Kane just had to remain silent, unseen, and wait for the signal. As soon as the signal was given, Kane was told to light an exploding tag, courtesy of Kakashi-sensei, at the base of the hill in order to block their only escape route. The sound of a crow's call filled his eardrums. That was the signal. Kane immediately lit the exploding tag wrapped around a kunai and launched it where he was told to. As soon as he did, he took off running towards the top of the hill where his teammates would engage the bandits. Kane pulled out 2 kunai. As he ran, an adrenaline pumped through his entire being. This was it. This was his moment. He would prove himself to Kakashi right here. He would prove himself to Sasuke right here. He would prove himself to Naruto right here. He would prove himself to himself right here. As soon as he reached the top, a bandit holding a giant axe locked eyes with Kane. The bandit's eyes were wild with shock and fear as he stared down into Kane's determination-filled one. Kane got into a taijutsu stance, prepared to launch 2 kunai the moment the bandit made a move. And then, that was when Kane realized the bandit's eyes, while locked with his own, weren't looking at him. They were lifeless. The bandit collapsed face forward on the ground as his eyes rolled to the back of his head. Kane could only stare in shock in his defensive stance as he stared past the body of the bandit into the camp. All of the bandits were dead, and Naruko and Sasuke were arguing. "We agreed no shadow clones, idiot," shouted at the blonde. "I only made 1 clone. I did it for the Rasengan. That was it, she screamed right back at him, the two Genins' faces nearly touching as they yelled at one another. But you don't even need the clone to make the Rasengan, so you lost. No, I didn't. I won fair and square, bastard. You took out 7 of the bandits, I took out 9. I win. You cheated. We agreed. No clones. And if you hadn't made that clone, it would have taken you much longer to form that Rasengan. I know you haven't mastered it yet, idiot. And while you're making it, I would have finished them off. You are mad just because even when there were an even number of bandits, you couldn't even pull off a tie. Kane felt numb. Naruto and Sasuke completely took out the bandits in the short time it took him to run up the hill. It wasn't even that big of a hill. It couldn't have taken him more than 25 seconds to reach the position. It couldn't have taken him more than 25 seconds to reach the position he was standing in right now. But 25 seconds was a long time when you were dealing with Shinobi. As Kane watched the two continue to argue with an emotionless stare, Kakashi-sensei appeared behind him and put a hand on his shoulder. I can tell you were upset, Kane. Two of them had a little dispute before reaching their locations over which one could take out more bandits. They said if all three of you each took out 5, there would be 1 bandit extra, and whoever took out the last would be the winner. Kane said nothing as he slowly turned his eyes back towards the still arguing Genin across the camp. I guess they got carried away, Kakashi said with a shake of his head. No kidding. End of chapter 12. Alright, that was a good one. Chapter 12 was fun. This was fun. If you guys are tapping in, thank you. I'm gonna just keep on releasing these when I can. I hope you guys are enjoying the story. I know I have bad editing, but I'm gonna get there. If I get some more time, I'm doing a lot of school and stuff. I just do this as a little side thing. I like this story. So, thanks for tapping in. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. This is God Emoji. I'll see you in the next one.